Hello, smilers, campers, and amazing human beings. Wow.
Welcome.
Before we even get into this, I've got to explain, before you even say anything, Shorty's in Sydney. Shorty got prepared for tonight and packed his Business of Smiles shirt and got ready for us. What size shirt did you take, Shorty?
Small.
What size are you normally, Shorty?
Large.
Oh, just to give people some sort of sizing with that, Oscar is at least a medium.
It's really good. It's feeling really good. It's a great fit.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Oh,
Well, congratulations, Shorty. Well,
thank you.
Welcome to What's Up Wednesday.
So good. What amazing weekend it was. Wow. Heart is full. The community's heart is full. So many hearts are full over the weekend. Where do we start? Where do we unpack it all? It's just mind-blowing.
Do you know what, Shorty? Do you know where we're going to unpack it all? We're going to unpack it with the reasons why we did what we did. Yep. So I'm going to ask you to jump into that and share with everyone why we did what we did.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, because in February this year, the Northern Rivers experienced the worst flood on record. It was, at the moment, it was 14.4 meters high. So in Lismore, they've got what's called a flood wall in town, which protects the river. And Lismore floods over the last 150 years, there's been 100 floods. So they're used to floods, but not like this. Their flood wall is 10 meters high. This flood was 4 meters above that wall. And what happens when it breaks the wall, when it comes over the wall, it starts to actually become like a slipstream. And so the velocity and the force that comes through is just absolutely profound. So from walls being knocked over, shops being devastated, and which resulted in my kids' school, living school, absolutely devastated. So was speaking to John the other day, and he thought, we thought we were safe. We went back twice, and we kept on lifting all our furniture up, all the gear up. It came through that quick that even the SES, the Bureau of Meteorology, didn't actually predict what was going to happen. Usually what happens in these situations, they can see what's called the El Nino effect, where there's a cyclonic kind of downpour that actually you can see, you can predict what happened. That whole weather pattern turned on itself and formed a mini cyclone within itself within a couple of hours. And that's where up to 700 mils of water dropped within 12 hours. It was just incredible. And that's why it rose so quick. That's why so much devastation happened, because of the quickness of these floods. And so that wiped out the whole town of Lismore, wiped out the whole kids' school. They had nothing. There was families devastated, distraught. And then 4 weeks later, it happened again, just as they started to clean up. So us being us, we thought, how can we help? And so what we did, we came together, we chatted about, hey, let's do what we know best is connection. Do what we know best on how to bring communities together. Do what we know best is start conversations. And we did that. And last weekend was a result which I'm still overwhelmed with the joy, the love, support, the connection that we created over the weekend. I'm still bursting at the seams of some of the things that resulted from that and the impact that we've had far and wide from Lismore to Ireland and everywhere in between. It's absolutely been beautiful of the communities coming together, the connections that we've made, the conversations that we've had, and talking about those dark days in any way that it has unfolded over the last, what are we now, last few months. And so we committed to do the 4x4 by 48 challenge, which was the 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours, which was 6.4 Ks for me, pretty boy shorty up at Byron Bay, and we'll get into that shortly. Scott thought he would be smart and increase his bet a little bit more. And so we'd run every 4 hours, so there's 12 stages for 48 hours. And we started 8 o'clock Friday night, then 12 a.m., then 4 a.m., then 8 a.m., and then we finished on Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. And wow, what a journey. What a journey. So that's what we had just completed over the weekend. And we're going to unpack that tonight for everyone of what we learned, what we took away, the thank yous that we really need to, and love to acknowledge the people that helped us, support us way before the weekend. So Scott, over to you, buddy. Like, how did you find the weekend?
Yeah, first things first, I'm going to address the pretty boy scenario. So, because what you're about to hear is two completely different ways of dealing with things, way things were handled, and just it's and you'll notice one of us has now got the nickname Pretty Boy. Now, very different circumstances that we had this running, and I love this opportunity. I love Shorty, and I love the opportunity that we have between us, because once again, to those who don't know, we have not met yet. We still have not met yet. We're continually behind each other 100%, supporting each other in ways that, you know, I think are necessary, and I know are filling my heart, and we're doing it for one another. So for that, I love. But I'm actually going to ask you to start with your experience first, because I think that's really important. You were up in Byron at the Canberra. Yep. Canberra Centre. So I'd actually, what we might do is we might actually go stage by stage. Stage one, stage, and just we'll go through that together. Are you all right with that?
1,000%.
Brilliant. Well, I'm going to quickly ask you to start while I just grab my water to share with the lead up to the week leading up to it.
So the week leading up to it was amazing. The people coming and supporting us was phenomenal. It wasn't till 4:45 that we got the final sign off from the Cabin Bar Centre to actually hold the event, which was amazing, right? They themselves had gone through an incredible ordeal, from dealing with COVID, from being an evacuation centre, to having 300 Army personnel, to housing. They had just gone beyond expectations. They were absolutely amazing. And in particular, one person, Rachel, that I will come back to. She is an amazing woman, which my heart is just so full with her, and I'll share some stories about that. So, huge lead up to the week. Me and Murray Parr, beautiful man. He was helping out, overseeing the weekend for me personally, massaging and just being there, support morally and emotionally as well. And so we sat down and we worked out a bit of a game plan. Worked out a bit of a game plan with Nat, just to finalise, you know, obviously with kids and toing and throwing and so forth. And so we had the car packed. So had the car packed, everything ready to go on the Friday afternoon. Got the ice bath, got the massage table, got the food trucks. Don't worry, there wasn't any food trucks. We're only joking. Got all the food prep all ready to go. And I got up to the Cabin Bar Centre and I was unloading everything. And I got the tent out, which we were going to put the Taj Mahal. We've got the massive big tent, right? Sleeps about 8. And I got the tent out and I only had the fly. I didn't have the base of the tent. Shorty's not the best of attention to detail. And I think I missed a little bit of a detail with this component. So it's like they're going, where is it? Where is it? Freaking out because it was getting dark. So 4:30, that goes, all right, I'll go home and pick it up. She got it, came home. This was 5:30, it was getting dark. So we had the torches out. I think camping, just a side note, camping is the best marriage counseling anyone can do. Because when you go camping and trying to put up a tent, you really learn a lot about yourself and how you communicate and some of the things that you should and shouldn't do. It was absolutely hilarious. So we had myself, Murray, Nat, and the kids trying to put up this tent at around about 6 o'clock at night in the pitch dark, trying to read instructions because I hadn't put up for a while. Finally, we got it up, got it all sorted, got it all kitted out. And we took some photos and it was beautiful blue skies. You could see the stars coming out. It was absolutely lovely. And 8 o'clock came around, the first stage, and we had a good mate of mine, Adam Jones, who ran with me for the first stage. It was so good just to start out. And gosh, he started out pretty strong, right? And so we did the first stage in like, I think 38 or 39 minutes. It was like, holy dooly, like, gosh. And that was good because I felt good. I had got a massage going out. Oh my God, I'm sounding very interesting when I relay all these things that we actually did have. I got the massage gun out and completed the first stage in 39 minutes and obviously felt good because of the first stage done and dusted. So that was me, first stage. What about you, first stage? Because it was a little bit different. That happened down in Mornington.
Yeah, just a little bit different. So, I had two mates, Oscar's tennis coach and Stewie, who were going to join me for the whole gig. They were going to do the whole 48 hours with me, and I was super stoked to have them with me. COVID took them out. Now, Stewie had the caravan, which we could have parked alongside, put the awning out, put the swags underneath, would have been nice and easy done. So we had to adjust on the Thursday. How do we adjust this? Okay, so we'll bring the swags, gazebos, and we'll go that way. Phone call Friday morning, can't come. Thursday morning, can't come for me anymore. Okay, let's adjust again. Gazebos and tent, because we need a bit more room now, because what's going to happen here? Okay, we'll set that up. Beautiful, game on. The amazing Janelle, COVID, support group, bang, gone. Oh, I love it. And thank God for Andrea Marshall. Thank God for Andrea to come down and to be available and come down from Shepparton, 3-hour drive, just to come and support for this journey. I just thought it was amazing. So I've done a full day's work. I finished up and Andrea meets me at my place. We're at the Reese Pass. And a big shout out to Minuteman Press in Seaford there for giving us a roll-up banner, which you'll see a bit more of in the next little bit because we'll put a few up. But we raced and grabbed that, and just before 5 o'clock, and we got there just half an hour to go, Oscar and I, and we hammer it. Tent set up, gazebos up, brilliant. Unlike you, Shorty, camping was my thing. Tent was up within 15 minutes. No arguments, all done nice and easy. Right? All good. However, the next part, not so great. So we've got the barbecue out, we're setting it all up, everything, and then it starts. The rain. Now, I'd had a big Thursday night. I come off the campfire project and had a bit of a conversation. Had to get up early, go get some work done. So I was looking forward to at least an hour or two sleep before we started the run. Oh, that was not the case. Like, the video footage I had, it was hammering. The water was up to our ankles. We must have got 20 mil within about 10 minutes. So we just got annihilated. And I had to battening down everything. I had to race to Bunnings to get another tarp to put over the top of the other tarp and then gazebo just to try and keep the water out. Meanwhile, the water's coming in underneath, so it didn't matter about the top. I'm holding down the tarp. The wind is howling. Oscar's turned to me. He goes, Dad, we're all right. Oh, we're going to go home. We'll be fine, mate. We'll be fine. I'm just, oh my. And that's 2 hours before we're meant to start. So, and I was absolutely drenched, like soaked through. Andrea was just soaked through. Oscar and Marcella come and picked up Oscar and took him home. And we just sort of battened down the hatches. We got another gazebo out from Andrea's car, put it over to the side in a slightly drier area, and just sort of made do just to get the run started. 8 o'clock rolls on. Oh my God, the very first leg. I didn't do times. I didn't care for times at that point. But what happened was something amazing. The cold water crazies turned up. And my God. Well, I'm going to share with you what I said to them at the end, because I'm so privileged to be a part of their community. I'm so privileged to be a part of what they do in life, which is challenge things, and and they were wholeheartedly there for me on the weekend, and I cannot thank them enough for that. But I really can't. Absolutely bucketing with rain, and Jenny, I'm just going off the top of my head. So I got Jenny, Jen, Jody, Val, Angela, Lynn. I'm probably going to miss a couple. All there dressed up, beautifully. Smilligan t-shirts, right? They got Smilligan shirts on. They're wearing yellow. We're all wearing tutus, and away we went. Lynn stayed with me for a little bit, and then the rest of the girls walked the entire track while I ran 8.2K with the help from RH Sports, because the deal for me was I would do 6.4 more unless the effort got sponsored, and then I'd do another 5 laps, which ends up being 8.4K. And my God, like, what a way to start. And if you get the chance, and we'll probably make a compilation video at some point, but it's just the, like, to embrace what is. It's just, you can't change what had happened, but you can change your response. And how you respond to things is how they become. Here I am in an absolute bucketing rain at the start of the challenge, gone through 2 sets of clothes before I've even started the challenge, right? So 2 pairs of sneakers already done and dusted. And here we are starting. And it was just one of the most magnificent starts to an event I could ever imagine. Most people would have pulled up stumps, but we got started. And I'm forever grateful for, the cold water crazies. I'm forever grateful for Andrew, big Hugh Bagger, who came down. Hugh came down and actually supported us on that first lap. I'm so proud of that. So that's how we started, Shorty. A little bit
incredible. But can I take something from that?
Go for it.
The environment threw you a wobbly, right? But once again, as you said, how you dealt with it was completely different from how many other people would deal with it. But what I also heard was the people around you, the people coming, your tribe, your community, the people coming and supporting you to lift you up, to give you that support in order to do the 8.4Ks that you did, which was absolutely amazing. Because that was one of the things for me, is that the people coming around and supporting you, it just made those laps so much easier. It made those Ks, just to have those conversations throughout those Ks, absolutely just amazing. And I just want to acknowledge those cold water crazies. Like, I could feel on those videos the energy, the love, the support, the connection that they showed you. It was absolutely brilliant. I know that, there's some cheeky ones in the group. But coming around you and supporting you was absolutely beautiful to see. And no matter what the conditions were on the outside, on the inside, that's what really made the difference to get you through what you had to get through, even from stage 1. And I think using that as a metaphor, it's a really interesting metaphor to use is no matter what's happening on the outside, if you got the inside sorted and you got that support on the inside, you can get through anything, right? You can get through any obstacle, you can get through any challenge, you can get through any bit of rain, hail, or shine because you've got the inside sorted, because you've got that support. So thank you, Cold Water Crazies, to get him through that first stage, because oh my gosh, I wouldn't have heard otherwise for ages. So absolutely amazing, mate. Well done. Well done.
Yeah, no, but I do want to go quickly onto that, and just I don't want to hang around it too long, so we'll talk a bit more about it at the end. But it's an interesting dynamic between myself and the Cold Water Crazies, right? Because I finally met my match with crazy people. I finally found my tribe, like, and I love that. But it's also there's a mutual love and respect, and it's a really powerful and strong connection and dynamic. Like I'm a part of a woman's group that I'm so privileged to be a part of, and I'm held to be the best version of me. Like as I keep being reminded, now I feel like more of a man in a tutu. But it's really important because I see that relationship as a very important one in my life. It's a very important one of just support, acceptance, and understanding, and it's something that drives me to greater heights. And I hope it's something that people see and wonder how they too can have that, because it's an amazing feeling just to have a space held for you to just be you in that moment. So I want to honour that.
Yeah, beautiful.
So
beautiful.
Thank you. So let's move along to stage two. Stage two. Did you get any rest?
Yeah, so after stage one, Pretty Boy here in Byron jumped in his ice bath with his little rubber ducky. And the rubber ducky was the temperature gauge, which was reading at about 1.5 degrees Celsius. And stayed in the ice bath for around about 5 minutes. And that was lovely. Got out of that, dried myself down, pat myself down, and then onto the lovely massage table where Murray Pa gave me a nice rub down, and it was lovely. Out of that was a nice warm feed waiting for me. So it was amazing. It was amazing. And I think looking at that process, that really helped me, on a serious note, that helped me get through those first number of stages, because it was quite methodical, because I had that planned out of like ice bath, massage, food, and then sleep. So I got, after that first stage, after I got some food in, I got a good hour and a bit sleep. And that really just starts that pattern of boom, 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 almost to the, not to the minute, but in relations to order, to get that repeat sessions out. And I think that made a massive difference to get me through the 12 stages.
I love that. And how did your second stage go?
Great. So the second stage at 12 o'clock was by myself. So, 12 o'clock, Friday night, headlamp on, out and about, beautiful night. It was actually quite warm, and just off my own little world, a few little frogs that I had to jump over, a few little toads, a few little flying bats out and about. But besides that, it's absolutely beautiful. So it was easy coming back. Once again, same process, and got some shut eye. So nothing too out of the ordinary on the 12 o'clock on the Friday night, but it was a nice process to go through, and got that done and dusted. But mate, you a little bit different.
Note to self: ice bath massage for pretty boys.
I can't wait from Sydney to Melbourne. I cannot wait.
Oh, mate, seriously, if I'm going to get ice baths and massages, I'm going to own you. I'm just going to. So a little bit different to Shorty. After stage one, I thank God the girls were there, and they quickly. I had to get out of my wet clothes ASAP before I cooled down, and so I got into some warm clothes. We had some dry stuff inside the tent. Everything else was saturated. So we got outside, and rather than hang it up, just dump it wherever, and then go back. I finish up, and then the girls are around, and I see you in your ice bath and with your massage, and I'm just like, geez, So all the girls got their one hand on my leg and sent you a photo of me getting a massage, which was brilliant. But anyway, I said goodbye to all the girls and just thanked them so much for doing what they're doing. And that was really important, you know. So, but that was done. And then Andrea and I looked around to see what carnage we had to deal with. So we sort of straightened things up a little bit. It's still raining heavily. So we just moved everything around just to make sure it was reasonable when we got up. Yep. I actually got off to bed and actually got about an hour's sleep before I got my next run in, which was great. So got up nice and early. And it actually stopped raining for a little bit, which I was stoked. Okay. So I was able to get up and go running. And one of the things, I was a little bit tired to start and I didn't quite get that rest that I was hoping for. So I was out in the run and Andrea counted my laps for me, gratefully, just in case I forgot, because of 21 laps, I wanted to make sure I got it right. Mm. So Andrew's there counting them. As I'm running, I'm going, you know what, Andrew? I'm actually starting to get a bit hungry. She goes, what do you want? So let's do some bacon and sweet potato chips. And I'm like, yeah, all right, let's get that on. So we did. So we finished that off, and that was good, but that was on my own at midnight also. So but it was a good run. I felt good and I felt strong.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
So for me, I was running on just over 1K loops, right, of the cycle track. So 6 laps, easy, around about 6.4, 6.5K. Yep. For you, you're running on a 400-meter track.
Correct.
How did your mind and body respond to such a short track going around and around and around? And did you change the directions?
Yeah, good point. No, I didn't. I stayed on one direction. That's from my head. Okay. So because if I change direction, I'll lose count. It's just me. Because I don't normally run on a running track, right? I normally run out. If I'm running 20Ks, I run out 10 because then I got to come back, right? So that's my mindset. But on a track, a bit different, yeah. So, but it was good. I actually really enjoyed the second run. I actually felt good. As much as the carnage leading into the first one, like the video footage is just awesome. But it's just, I really enjoyed it. You know, like I thought, here we go. We're going to get a bit of peace. We're going to get through this quite. No, we're going to get through it. It's not perfect, but we'll work through this and we'll get through it. Oh, how wrong I was. So I'm going to take this opportunity to lead into the third leg, the leg that I didn't do. So anyway, so I finished up and I felt good. So I sat down, had a quick feed with Andrea, good chat. And Andrea's just an amazing human being. She was so calm throughout the storm and just it was really, really amazing just being there. So, and good to talk to through it because like, okay, we've got this, what can we do? How can we do it? There was no stress. We just looked at it and go, okay, we're both saturated. This is what we've got. This is what we do. Cool, done. We'll see how we go through the night. Let's go and see how we get. She goes jumping into bed. Just as we jumped into bed, the storm kicked in again. Oh, okay. So we're sort of sitting there listening to things, and we're sort of neither of us actually sleeping, waiting for things to go, banging, just wind howling. Anyway, I literally just nod off. Andrea, Scott. Oh, what's that? She goes, I think we need to go out. I think something's gone majorly wrong. So what's going on? She goes, the gazebo just landed on top of me. I'm like, oh, here we go. And at this point, I go, she goes, I can't actually get out of the tent. And I'm like, oh, no. So we open up the tent, we look outside, we go outside. Just give me half a sec. So we go outside and I finally fight the way through and everything is everywhere. Oh, no. Bucketing rain. Hammering rain. I'm just like, okay, what do we do here? How can we do this? What do we salvage? Okay. Just got back in the tent. Okay, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? We can't. She goes, you can't stay here. We can't do that. This is not safe now. I'm like, 100%. I'm like, okay. So that's it. Started packing up. So absolute bucketing rain. Luckily, we had the new tarp, we had it pegged down. Although the gazebo was over there, another one over here, and that actually covered a lot of the stuff. So it stayed in one place. It was all saturated, but it stayed in one place. So at that point, Andrew and I just hell for leather, just packing it all up, loading it into the cars, and just pulling it all down. The tent, 2 gazebos, the frame's still there, just buckled and bent everywhere. But I'm just, look, I couldn't have done it with a better person. Okay, this is what we've got to do. We just got to get it done. So we did, through no fuss. And then at 4 a.m, when we were meant to be taking off, Jen Yakana rocks up. She goes, I'm here to help you pack up. And so we did. So we put everything in the car, and then we drove back to my place because I thought I need a solid base now. I had 7 pairs of shoes. 5 of them were destroyed, completely wet. So I just thought, I just got to get home and sort this out.
Mm-hmm.
So we did. And by the time I got home, it was just after 5. And, so then I had to pull everything down and just get it out of the car, just so I didn't drown in the car because it was saturated. I dumped it all in the garage and said to Andrew, just go to bed. But Marcella was amazing. Marcella woke up and she supported us, got Angela some food and stuff, and that was amazing. So then Angela went off to bed, and I eventually did too. So I got myself an hour's sleep, ready to go at 8 o'clock. I'll pass it over to you, but that was
wow,
big pivot. At that point, I actually questioned whether or not I was going to continue, because
what was going through your head?
I was broken. I was like, I'm exhausted. Every single thing, I just went through it. I'm like, Janelle's down on COVID, Stewie, Andy, everyone's out. They're gone. Like, it's, and Andrea's just done this amazing thing. I was just so grateful for her. I'm like, you know what? I'll just get a little bit of rest and just see how I pull up in the morning. We'll see how I go. So that's what we did. Give it a go, see what happens, see how bad it is. So
far out, mate. That absolutely. You can't comprehend that kind of stuff, right? Until you're in the midst of it all, trying to pack it up, rain coming down, wind howling. For me, 4 o'clock was up by myself, up, out, done like at 12 o'clock, but still stars out, quite warm, come back and same little process again. And getting your messages and getting your, quick phone calls and like, gotta go. Absolutely just, it's like, oh, mate, hope he's all right. What's happening down there? And, it was just a huge, I remember trying to do some crossovers and some Facebook Lives. It was like, it was just completely just, for you guys down there, it was crazy. But for us up here, totally fine. Got through the 4 o'clock. And once again, bath, massage, food, bit of a rest, and 8 o'clock was absolutely amazing. 8 o'clock, and I'm going to segue in, and I'm wary of our time. We're about to hit 34 minutes, so we might have to wrap up shortly. Is our 8 o'clock was beautiful because we had some beautiful friends join us to start off the morning. We had Lindsay and Aaron from CrossFit in Ballina, the guys that we train with. We had Kaz from the Byron Bay Runners out of the blue. It was just, and if I was to sum up so many parts of this, for me, it was the conversations that were had on these 6 laps. Within the 45 to 50 minutes, the connections that people made, particularly like even on 8 o'clock, the conversations that we had at 8 o'clock was just beautiful. It was just heartfelt. It was warm. It was just like, wow, this it's just amazing of the people that are coming together to really helping and support the community. It was incredible. So once again, beautiful morning, beautiful to start off with the day, and just to get through it. So very grateful for the people coming out and supporting me on that run. But the conversation, oh, magical. What about you? How was your 8 a.m.?
Yeah, my 8 a.m. was actually pretty awesome because Oscar actually jumped up and came out with me, which was amazing. And I don't think I would have got through it without him because he was on his scooter and little Captain Ron Barassi sitting there yapping at me. Just going, come on, Dad, you can do this. I'm like, oh. So we actually, to get him out and about, I actually said to him, I said, dude, let's go get some pancakes. He said, what? I said, yeah, jump on the scooter. We're going to get some pancakes. So I ran down to the local shop, ran out to 4.2K, came back past the shop, got the pancakes, came back in, and got back to the house where he cooked up the pancakes. At that point, I proceeded to die. so which was a bit of fun because, like, when you do these journeys and, you know, you've got the support, especially the support of those closest to you, to have Oscar sitting there with me. He was wearing my unicorn hoodie. God love that thing. So he popped the unicorn hoodie and went down. We got that and got back, and that was a tough one. That was really tough, you know. Like but here's the thing, right? In a way, I sort of backed ourselves into a corner by making sure we had sponsorship, making sure we had people to keep us accountable. People, you know, we've gone to all this effort to put together some fundraising for the living school. I want to get that done, you know. And it's funny, you know, like it's a great driver to get yourself a little bit further on than what you think you're going to get when you've got that support behind you and people backing you into the corner as such. But it's just that's super important. So my 8 a.m. was tough, but I got back, I got it done. You know, where I go. So from this point though, I'm running from home, so I had to change my whole schedule, had to change my whole plans. So that was my 8 a.m. Then at midday, I so a few will go through the midday run because the 8 a.m. was sponsored by Oxygenate, Graham Clark. I really appreciate that. Recovery wear, which is really important, which I was sort of wearing between runs when it was dry. So because the weather had fined up, right? So it was all good. But that was between 8 a.m. and middays when I actually got some good sleep. Good sleep for about an hour and a half because I'd actually, once I finished that run, I actually went in and checked out the garage and saw what was everywhere. So I just pulled out some stuff. Thank God Marcella was there. She grabbed most of the clothes and just put it all in the wash and just started going through all that. So I actually was very grateful to actually be home at that point. So going from somewhere was just an absolute disaster to that. So midday, thanks to Brayway Building Surveying, I got up again and popped on the Smilligan. Hey, Muzz, how are you, mate? We'll let you get to Muzz in a sec. But I just thank you for your words of encouragement the whole time, Muzz. I really appreciated that, especially when it was not so fun. So, but then I took off around Sandhurst and I just ran around Sandhurst just to get my Ks up, which was a bit of a lonely journey. However, I knew it's important just to get it done. So we got it done. Over to you, Shorty. What was your midday like?
Midday was lovely. Midday we had some beautiful friends come out and to join us on that session, and we had the warning of that potential. I mean, it was fine during the day, but you know, coming in the afternoon, there was little talk around some clouds coming over, but during the day of midday on Saturday, it was lovely. It was cool, casual, it was beautiful conversations. We had some friends come out and join us, and we got through it with ease. The body will start to go, ooh, Shorty, you're hitting some Ks now. The good old birthing hips aren't as in condition as they used to be, but thanks to the marvelous Murray Parr, sorted that out. And but once again, it was fine. It was good bath and and some good feed, and started to get some good rhythm of my own pace. So what I realized was starting out too hard in that first couple of sessions and started to bring it back to pace. And the shorty shuffle started to come out, but it was the consistent shorty shuffle. So what I mean by that was didn't go out too hard, just set a nice consistent pace, and that got me through my 6 laps. So for me, that was a beautiful, beautiful 12 o'clock. That was great on Saturday midday.
Yeah, giddy up, because that's something that's important, isn't it? When you do your long events, you got to find your rhythm, not other people's.
1,000%. Yeah, 1,000%. Now, just want to check in how we're going. We're 40 minutes so far. Do we want to keep going? Do we want to come back? Where are we at?
Have you got time? I'd rather finish it tonight because I want to talk about the bigger purpose of this next week. Is that all right? Yeah,
beautiful. Well, let's start to summarize a couple, because I would like to. Because what I'm realizing, if it's okay with you, is as starting to get into Saturday night, for me, things started to change. For me, getting into the next couple of stages, what I realized was that the words start to get out and people started to come more consistent. And what that meant for me was the conversations that we had started to get deep, started to get really enriched, and it was just very, very heartfelt. So coming into the afternoon at 4 o'clock, Saturday afternoon, and it was starting to get a little bit cool. So the clouds started to come over, and I just wanted to digress to a beautiful woman, Rachel from the Cabin Bar Centre, who has done amazing things. She started, and if you follow her on Sister Assist on Facebook, she's doing amazing things for the community in Woodburn, up in the Northern Rivers. She shared with me this story where this 70-year-old lady had lost everything, and she's still going to the toilet in the cane fields. She raised money, and she went and bought this lady a camping toilet so she can still have dignity in going to the bathroom now. She's raised money on trucks to come up with all this equipment for people to start to rebuild their homes. And she was there the whole weekend cheering us on, going, go shorty, go shorty. So I just heartfelt thank you to Rachel for the whole weekend. I know we're at 4 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, it's the whole weekend, but it's absolutely just, yeah, mate, it's absolutely beautiful. So how was your 4 o'clock on Saturday afternoon?
Yeah, I just want to honour Rachel. I think that's amazing. I love how the communities are really getting behind us at this point. You know, and it's to hear what she's doing in your community, but to be there for you. And it's no little thing, right? It's a big effort, this, and it's for the right reasons. And it's great just to see people get behind you for this. So thank you, Rachel. From Sister Assist, I'm going to learn more about you. And so we're going to move along now. So 4 p.m, I'm in the Hurt Locker. I'm struggling a bit. I had bugger all rest and really need to pep myself up. So I decided to walk for a bit. But not just walk, put a backpack on, fill it with socks. And that's it. I took off and I walked from here down to the Carrum Downs football ground, and that was amazing. So I get down there, and on the way down there, I met a few people. But I get down there and started feeling good. So I ran 4.5K around the football ground. While I was doing that, I handed out socks to a few people, and 3 people actually hit me on this, and I'm going to share the stories with them quickly. Number one was a young guy, Jolly, and he couldn't believe someone did it. He goes, "You're not going to believe this." I said, "What?" He goes, "I just saw a post that somebody just put out that they could not believe that this random guy walked up and thanked them for doing their best, then handed them a pair of socks, and he shows me this thing on TikTok. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome, because that's now you. And he was just over the moon. And I just like, which gave me a lift, right? Because I went back into what I needed, which was support from other people. But I had to get the, and I know what I get out of people when I'm out there doing the sock scenarios with people. So that was awesome. The next one was a gorgeous young lady. I can't remember her name. I should have noted it was in Hurt Locker. So, but I gifted her a pair of socks. We just had a conversation. She's a teacher at a high school. And we just talked about the emotions that are coming out in people at the moment because they have been in lockdown. They're having to reintegrate, having to reconnect, and they're struggling. So we've got a big conversation about that. And we also talked about how things were in the staff room, because the staff room is another opportunity. So inside the schools, it's a difficult opportunity right now. So get that done. On the way back, I met this amazing woman who Sylvia, I hope to see more of you because you filled my heart, and getting to know you with a pair of socks. Just lives not too far from here. I'm just so proud of her. Her story is something that I'd actually like to save and share with her because it's something really special. So that was my 4 p.m. So, and a big thank you to Big Four, White River, Caravan Park for getting behind me. So actually, I've got to throw something out there I haven't done. Black Fox Real Estate and White River Big Four got behind 2 stages each to get us across the line and to get us a great amount of money to get the things done we're going to need to get done. We'll talk more about that next week. So moving along to 8 p.m. 8 p.m. for me by Solar Smart, by Matty from Solar Smart Electrical. PV panels, an amazing guy. I used to do a bit of work with him. And if you need to get PV panels in Melbourne, jump on a Matty because I know the systems he put in, they are so proficient and so well designed that they have a significant impact on the way you use your power. So, gold. So we get down to Karen Bounce Community Centre. I drove down and the cold water crazies are back. And this is hilarious because I get down there and like, where are you? And they've gone, you got to find us because it's 3 football grounds and they're running around us. So we played hide and seek for at least 20 minutes until I found them running around the ground. So that was awesome. But a massive thanks to Angela, Christine, Jen and Val for coming down, and Jen for bringing down some soup. And we sat down and had a good conversation after that. And we just talked about things. So that's one thing like you, Shorty, getting these done. We're also having the conversations, which is epic. So that was my 8 p.m.
8 p.m. for me was beautiful because we had a few guys come down from the gym, CrossFit Ballina, which was amazing. And another mate, Adam, once again came back again to run once again. And even though they didn't know that they were all coming, once again, they knew each other from different walks of life. And it was lovely just being part of that run at 8 o'clock and not having to say anything, but just hearing the conversations from past catch up, from past experiences, from past events, and just listening. And for me, when I run, I don't necessarily need to talk. It's just being part of a conversation actually allows the time to just go like that. And that was a beautiful, once again, like you'll keep on hearing me hearing the biggest impact was the conversation that we had, but allowing that time to have those conversations where within the 45 minutes to 50 minutes, nothing else was the focus besides movement and conversations. And that was beautiful, which then, one of the guys from the 8 o'clock, Jeff Skinner, is an amazing human being. He stayed to 12 o'clock. And, he's gone through massive challenge himself. His mum's house got devastated in the floods and going through his own repair and so forth. And he goes, no, surely I'll stay. So he crashed out in his car for a little while and had to sleep, and I crashed in the tent and had to sleep. And at 12 o'clock, he came back and we ran together. And I'm sure we probably said about 10 or 20 words. But it wasn't the words that made the impact. It was the presence within those words. It was the presence of just running. It was almost like in sync in that run where we matched the shorty shuffle and we just got through it. And that had a massive impact on me. No matter what was said or no matter what wasn't said, it was just having someone by your side, backing you, supporting you, knowing that you've got this to get me through that next stage at 12 o'clock at night. It was just profound. It was like, wow, I had in my head, cool, all right, Friday night I did it by myself, ready to go by myself, but he stayed back for another session, 8 p.m., 12 a.m., and did it. And so that was my 12 o'clock. That was just, yeah, it's very, very powerful for me and very impactful. What about you? How was your 12 o'clock?
Yeah, I love that because sometimes it's just present, isn't it? You know, and that the just being present is the best gift you can give. We all love presents. So I just want to throw something out that I sort of missed that I think is probably pretty important part of the story. So between midday and 4 p.m. on the Saturday, I didn't actually get any sleep. I had to reset up to 10. Reset up to 10, get all the stuff outside. That was just horrible. So that 4 p.m., that's why I was in the Hurt Locker so much. And so back into midnight, and Black Fox Real Estate jumped out again. And it just they had me both nights in the darkest hour. Like, how cool's that? In the darkest hour, they owned them both. I just wanted to make sure that I got through them, and it wasn't a great effort. It was a walk run, and at one point I started talking to myself on a Facebook Live that nobody could see, just to keep my head in the game. But I had my earpods in, and I was just listening to tunes, and I was just cruising out because, like, it's funny, you know, a lot of people, where are you? And I'm like, you know, I just had to get it done, which was important. So the midnight one for me was an interesting one, dark one, but it was a good one. I was just happy to get through that one. So, which moved along to 4 a.m., which just after 3 o'clock, I heard all the police choppers kicking off, and because and they're hanging over the house, and I'm like, what's going on here? I'm like, oh well, we'll just see how it goes. Start prepping up. So I'm starting to think, I've got to get back to Mornington. So what do I need to get my stuff back to Mornington? What do I need to put in the dryer to make sure I've got there? So I'm focusing on that. What food do I need to do? So I started doing a little bit of prep. So I thought after the 4 a.m. one, get that done. But that one I didn't have a sponsor, and I'm like, giddy up. I can actually just take that and I can do a 6.4, nice and easy, cruise through it. Not a problem, right? Shorter run, get a bit of sleep. There you go. Might even walk a bit of this one because, like, you know, just to take it nice and easy. Go out the front door, choppers up above, circling around. Go down the back path, come out in the street. Hey, mate, do you want to go back inside and lock your door? Why? So there's been a bit of an incident. You need to go home and lock your door. Here I am in my unicorn hoodie. Freezing cold. I'm like, yeah, no worries, mate. Have a good look at me. I'm fine, mate. I'm not really a target of anything. I'll be fine. So that's it. Away I go. So I stepped up my pace and I got that done a little bit quicker than what I thought I was going to do it. But that's all right. We got off the streets. So, but that's, you know, once again, same thing. So I got home and quickly towed down, hoodie off, and then wanted to get some sleep. So I had about just over, it was about just after 5 o'clock when I got back. And I wanted to make sure that everything was ready. 6:30 when I got up, and had to load up the car and get back to Mornington. Go, Shorty.
So I got up to do the 4 a.m. thinking once again, cool, happy to do it by myself. Yep, it's like middle of the night somewhere. And then out of the blue, Lindsay, the owner of CrossFit Ballina, rocks up and she's got a bike. It's like, yeah. She goes, I'm here, I'm ready. And the next minute, this other guy rocks up, who I don't know. His name was Will from the Byron Bay Runners. It's like, overwhelmed of joy, love, and support. And we took off. And I said to Will, I said, mate, why are you here? He goes, mate, Kaz who's the president of Byron Bay Runners, put it out there. And I thought, mate, hey, if you're doing this for the whole weekend, I've got to support you. And, he's a local boy from up there. He grew up in the Shannon. He knows Lismore very well. And he's a civil engineer, and he works with landslides. So for the next 50 minutes, we were talking about landslides, we were talking about the floods and the impact of these earth movements. And like, I was just mesmerized. And like that 50 minutes just went like that. And I learned so much. And Lindsay's like going, oh my gosh, like we're just in awe of this guy of just came out of nowhere. He just came out of the dark and he goes, yeah, I'm here to support you guys, like here to run. It's just like, it was just so beautiful. And then, when we finished the run, he goes, well done, Shorty, keep it up. And off he goes into the darkness. It's absolutely incredible, like out of nowhere. And that was just, once again, such a beautiful thing, because what happened next at 8 o'clock will always be etched in my memory for a very, very, very long time. So at 8 o'clock in the morning, who rocks up? Is John Stewart, the owner of and the conductor of the Living School in Lismore. So John rocks up, not in his running gear, mind you, in his work attire. So he's got his collared blue shirt, he's got his long slacks, and he's got his like work boots, right? He goes, how you going, blah, blah, blah. And, there's a little bit of drizzle, a bit of rain happening at the moment. He goes, I'm here to run a couple of laps, and we're having a great chat. He goes, cool, no worries. So we started at 8 o'clock. And once again, mate, the vision that is in his head, it's just absolutely profound of we're doing this, we're doing that, and then we're doing this, and we got that. It's just like going from 2 campuses now to 4 campuses because of the rebuild of those 2 campuses and the uni and then the farm. It's just absolutely phenomenal of what's on and what's going on in his plate, which has been incredible. And how he's just bringing everyone together to actually orchestrate that actually coming to fruition, which is phenomenal. So I thought, cool, you'd be out in one lap. 6 laps later, he's still running with me in his work attire. It's raining. He's sweating. He's just like, we're just like going, blah, 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 blah. It's like, oh my God. And he finishes and then he tells me, oh yeah, I've got a meeting at 9 o'clock in Lismore. He's just absolutely drenched. It's just like, wow, that's just incredible. So it was beautiful for him to actually come and experience and have that connection and have those conversations to share the vision of the business of Smiles and more about our mission and our vision and how we're here to support. And, we're talking about what's coming up in June. He goes, mate, I'm there. What do you need? I'm here to support you. I'm here to back you. Can we get the kids involved? Like, yes. And what we've got coming in October is, how can I help? How can I support? Like, once again, it's just so beautiful having these conversations. And so that was our 8 o'clock on Sunday morning. And it just starts to build from there. How was your 8 o'clock?
Oh, I love it, Shorty. And if anyone hasn't seen the interview we did with John Stewart, please go back and watch it. It's in the Business of Smiles, the Campfire Project. It's also on my page.
YouTube.
Yeah. Okay, it's on YouTube too. So we've actually, by the way, we've got a YouTube channel, so which I'll get Shorty to hit up. Go for it. What is it?
Yeah, just go to YouTube, just search the Business of Smiles and click subscribe to get all the notifications of all our latest and be updated with all our videos that come online, and have a look through. We've got a bunch there. Go through past videos that we've done, but hit subscribe, and so you get the latest videos coming through. Over to you.
Yeah, beautiful. Definitely subscribe. It's got some cool stuff coming up in the next little bit too. So 8 a.m. Back on Big 4 again, and I can't thank Big 4 Wye River Caravan Park enough. And we're talking to the Coldwater Crazies. We're actually going to get down there and have a weekend because we need to get back there, support them because they're doing amazing things for us. So this is a big one because I just driven back, 40 odd minutes, but to get back to Mornington with just my basics. I didn't have much, just my basics, throwing it in the car, grabbed enough clothes. But something beautiful happened. Lindsay came down to run with me. The Coldwater Crazies again, Jen, Jody, Jenny, bang, there for me 100%. But someone else came down that's just a huge part of the Business of Smiles, Bruce Thornell. Bruce is our resident poet inside the Business of Smiles. And for the first 3 laps, we started the journey with a poem, we ran a lap. We did a poem, we ran a lap. We did a poem, we ran a lap, and then we did a poem. And then I got back into the swing of things. Bruce even did the first lap with us, so I was over the moon with that. But I want to give a little bit of an honorary mention to Bruce by sharing one of his poems, which to me is just magnificent. Sock Puppet. Bruce and I met when he was painting our house, where I gifted him a pair of socks 12 months ago, and it hit him straight in the heart. We've shared many conversations, and while he was working here, he was actually writing poetry, and he's leaving it here for us to read overnight. It was just wonderful. So here it is, Sock Puppet. I'm yellow and I'm mellow, happy as a buttercup. These spots I feared were measles, each one a dark day that I have conquered. I wear these spots with pride. They show the world that nothing can beat a smile. And I love it. That's about our Business of Smile socks. And I'm just so grateful for you, Bruce. I'm so grateful for the energy you brought. We're sitting there and we're sharing these poems, and it's just wonderful. Like Bernice turns up with young Elise. Hey, Mick, how are you, mate? So, and we're sitting there and we're sharing poems, like in the middle of a run, and we're enjoying each other's company. And that's what this became about. So my 8 a.m. and a massive hurt locker, get out, and then Lindsay's out there running with me, and I'm so grateful. She's somebody that got me through Ironman. We used to train together for Ironman because we were the same pace. We've gotten to know each other over the years. She's a great partner, comrade, and I love that. Meanwhile, while I'm running, Bully turns up. Big Bully, love to you, mate. Like, just couldn't believe you too. Rocked up and did a few laps just to support. And little Wee Wazi, mate, fantastic job. She's come down there with some Chiquito chocolate for me, and she chose that because it looks exactly like the Business of Smiles. It's got the yellow and the brown and the black. Well, it was amazing. So that's when the game started to change for me. I was exhausted, absolutely exhausted. So I finished that, and I jumped in the car, and then I laid down. Then my alarm goes off at 11:40. Lying in the back of the car. And Kirsten and Rob there from Granted. Granted were the sponsor of our second last effort. Here I am, and they're like, Scott, I'm like, yeah. And they said who they were, and then we just got up and got going, and I love that. We had a conversation about the mental health opportunities that are currently going on, and why she supported what we're doing, and talked about the importance of having good role models in our community. And she was so proud to be a part of this journey, and that for me was just everything. Having that deep conversation, and she did a lap with us to start, and then we got off, and Lindsay and I found my rhythm. We got that run done. So that was an amazing one. Over to you, Shorty. So that's your midday.
This was a special time for me because we had some beautiful people rock up. We had Sophie Stewart, John's wife, also co-owner of the Living School, and she rocked up on a push bike, which was amazing. We had Kaz from the Byron Bay Runners, who, once again, biggest heart ever. And we had Lauren King. Lauren King is a local up at Lennox, and she played for Australia for in basketball for the women's basketball, and she is now works for Basketball New South Wales. And she came with 20 basketballs that she donated to the school, like straight off the bat. And so we all started together. And once again, Lauren had the idea that she'll just run one or two, and she still plays basketball, but this was a little bit longer than she expected. But the conversation that we started was around women in sport. Wow. Looking at the whole generation of women in sport and how they've progressed and where they were and where they are and where they're going, it was absolutely to hear that everyone's stories and their own ideas and their own, I guess, ideology around it all was absolutely beautiful. It was just like so warm and so connecting and so inspiring at the same time. And there were so many stories within the stories that, you know, we can unpack it at a different stage. And that was a really big takeaway for me, was once again, just having the ability to sort of listen and just to get through it, but just to go, wow, and just ask questions and go, what about this and what about that? And what are your thoughts on this? It was just a beautiful, beautiful time that we did together. And Lauren got through the 6K. She goes, I cannot remember the last time I've run 6.4Ks. I said, well, you did it, and we all did it together. And it was a beautiful thing that we did. It was just so inspiring once again to come together, which by then it was raining, you know, it was like, we thought, oh, thanks for sending the weather up, Scotty, because we started to get a little bit of the there's a thing called karma come our way, and the heavens opened up, and that led to 4 o'clock, which was our last run.
If we don't mind, should we get into the 4 o'clock? Just I think there's somebody I do want to honour for the midday run. There's an amazing human being, Liana, that has never really run before in her life, and she's actually a great supporting member of the Cold Water Crazies and was there for quite a few efforts. She ran 6K.
Wow.
Never run before and ran 6K with us, and I'm so proud of that. What happens in the 4 p.m, I'm even more proud of. So over to you, Shorty.
There was a beautiful build-up on that last stage because it was a countdown. You know, you get the messages on social media, you get the phone calls, you get the SMSs. You know, they could see it, the live that we were doing. It was like a countdown, and this was like the crescendo of like, wow, we've been running for like 48 hours. We've had probably just over 6-7 hours sleep for the whole stages, and it was quite an interesting cathartic experience going through this last stage. We had gym members, we had work colleagues, we had the family, we had Mars. It was just beautiful just to actually go through this last stage together and just reminisce of and review the 48 hours, review the 12 stages that went through it. And people came back again because they said, you know, Shorty, it was interesting because they go, oh, I'm sore, you know, travel, and I'd already done a couple of stages. They go, oh, I'm sore, but hang on, oh, Shorty's been running for 11 stages by now. I might just keep a little bit quiet. But it was just beautiful, just once again, as a summary to come together to walk. No, we didn't walk, we jogged it, but jogged the Shorty shuffle of it, jogged this through together. And when we came through that final, you know, we counted the laps down, and John came back again, and he was actually on the push bike to celebrate it. And we had a few families come down from the living school to come and support. And when we counted down each lap, 5 to go, 4 to go, 3 to go, coming through that last lap, realizing what had been achieved, not for me personally, but for the people around me, for the school, for what we've done for the community. And yes, we raised some amazing money and we supplied all the sports equipment, but the connections and the message that we've got out through the community it's just absolutely phenomenal. And, when you think that what we can do in Melbourne and Byron, it was just absolutely incredible. So that was that 4 o'clock on that afternoon, absolutely mind blowing. It was so impactful, so beautiful to experience. And I'll remember that for years and years and years to come. How was your 4 o'clock?
Yeah, well, 4 o'clock was amazing, Shorty, and I love hearing how connected you are to the community. It's hard to believe you've only been there 12 months, and you're so deeply entrenched. And I love that. So for me, the last effort was amazing. And Mick Hawes, I'm taking his money. Business Builders Black Belt, watch out for that. There's a new man in town coming to join that team, and it's going to be pretty exciting over the next little bit. So there'll be a bit of talk around that, and I'm really looking forward to that. But it's this last event. I want to thank Mick and Julie for supporting that. The last one, it had been an interesting event. Highs, lows, very little rest, just darkness. Just to finish it was just amazing. But it's the way in which we finished it. The cold water crazies turned up in numbers. Kirsten turned up with her daughter. Oscar was there. Maddie from Solar Smart was there. So the very first lap of the oval, we walked together. We walked. We started it together. We finished it together. Started it. And then I took off. Then a young man by the name of Heath joined me. Not so young, but this young man. He's younger than me. Who happened to be the partner of Liana. Hadn't run for 10 years. Their kids were there. Their kids got to see mum and dad separately go for a run, do something amazing. I am so proud of those two amazing human beings. But I was off on the run and I enjoyed it. I was actually feeling good. The last 2 runs, I was probably feeling stronger than I had for the whole thing. So that was awesome. I ran well. But it comes up to the last lap. I stop. Bring everybody together and we hold hands. And we do the last lap together. About 50 metres from the finish line, I said thank you to everybody for being there. In particular, the cold water crazies and for Andrea, much to my heart. Life is an amazing opportunity if you're prepared to give it a crack. Support often comes from places that you don't expect. Shorty and I come together because of it's just a hint in his heart that I need to be a part of that. I walked past the cold water crazies down on the beach one morning. I said, "Morning, girls." And they've said, "Come in for a swim." I'm so glad I did. But to finish holding my son's hand and to finish with the girls, it was just an amazing, amazing, amazing feeling and achievement. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that we had the purpose of building some funding so that we could actually create some support for a community in Lismore. And that's the thing that I love about this. I was down there in Mornington, in Sandhurst, and we're still connecting, still creating more connections in our community. I personally feel more connected to my community than ever because of that. And I'm just so grateful for that. So, Jordy, we're well over. We're out to an hour. But before we do our thanks, I want to ask you one question. What's the one thing that you've learned about yourself in doing this?
The power of community and what it can achieve when it comes together through having conversation. And what I mean conversations is not always the ability to talk. Sometimes it's the ability to listen. And you?
The importance of presence. Sometimes you don't need words. Sometimes you just turning up is everything. We got this done because people turned up and supported us. We got this done because people turned up and put funds behind us to make sure that we turned up. Some of the people that put fuel into the tanks, I've never met. And yet I can feel their presence through that support. The gift that was the weekend was presence. In the absolute pouring rain, in the sunshine, in the moments of the darkness, all those times, presence. I love that, Shorty. I love what we're doing, but I want to dive into something. Hey, Heath, thank you for watching. I hope you heard how proud of you I am. So, but I just want to throw something, Shorty. I want to say a huge thank you to you. Like, these things don't just happen. They take effort. They take organising. They take phone calls. They take all the opportunities. And I'm so proud of what we're doing. I'm so proud of you for being an anchor that can often be a storm that we're travelling through. But I know the importance of it. I love you, mate, and I can't thank you enough for that.
Thank you. And right back at you, mate. Like, couldn't have done any of this without you. Like the daily phone calls that we have multiple times a day, just to check in and see, how we're going, and the ability of where we're at, how you going, and then even throughout the weekend, like, thank you for being in my corner. Thank you for coming out and putting the chair out. Thank you for metaphorically wiping my pretty boy brow down. Thank you for even though we've never met, giving me those virtual hugs, because I can feel your energy and supporting me every single way. And I just want to say, mate, I feel that, even though we've never met. I feel that every time that we talk, that you've got my back and I've got your back. And that's a big, big thing, mate. So I just want to say a huge thank you.
You're welcome, Shorty. And I can't wait to run from Sydney to Melbourne with you and just, like, it's no ice baths here, Shorty. Need a massage, sweetheart? Get over it. Let's get this done. Oh, I can't wait. There's some stuff coming up. I love it. But it's just massive thank you to everybody who sponsored us. Keep an eye out for how we show our appreciation, because I think there's something that I'm really proud of, is how we do that, because it's something really important. So,
and I just want to jump on that, if I can, just because there's some beautiful businesses that have backed different stages for me up here in Byron. Dave Gray, as soon as I put the message out there, Dave Gray was like, mate, done, all sorted. He's got a business in Lismore that got just smashed as well. They're still not back in their office. So Elders in Lismore, mate, thank you, Dave Gray. Thank you for supporting us. Then we had Andy Chris from the Chris family group, IGA stores. Once again, no problem, Shorty. I'm backing you. We had Daniel Casher from TPD Real Estate, 2 stages. Oh my goodness. Like, Shorty, I'm backing you up. I'm supporting you. Thank you. You guys are amazing. We had Luke Darcy from Guardian Safety Solutions. Shorty, love it. Let's go. Let's do this. We had Michael Quinn from Wealth Efficiency going, Shorty, backing you, mate. Let's do this. Let's get it done, mate. It was just we had Braden Walters go, yep, 500, boom, I've got your next stage. We had Murray Parr's dad, who was in the Corokai floods, devastated himself, saw us and he goes, boom, I've got your stage. And so all these people were absolutely behind us, supporting us in all these stages to get their job done. And I just want to share a couple of different things to a couple of other people. And one in particular is Muzz. Muzz, Boy Scout through and through, absolutely from dawn to dusk, every single day, was absolutely phenomenal. Not just the massages and so forth, but just how he operated, the care, the support, the holding of the space, the music that he was playing. You know, it was just beautiful to have those conversations with him in the down times. It was beautiful to connect as a good mate, as a beautiful mate, as a dear friend. And Ange to come along on each morning, on the Saturday morning and the Sunday morning at 8 o'clock and do her 2 rounds, which was incredible. Like, she walked it, the 6 laps by herself with Bonnie, her beautiful dog. It was just so beautiful to see. So, no, thank you. My 3 beautiful children, Riley, Lily, and Ty, who came to support. Lily ran the whole last stage together by herself, 6 laps. She just took off. She goes, "See, Dad, you're too slow for me." She took off and did the 6 laps. But the 3 kids were absolutely so supportive over the weekend. And lastly, my beautiful wife, Mel. You know, didn't question anything. She was just there to support. What do you need, babe? How else can I support you? Back and forth with the ice, food, coffees, whatever you needed. Took care of the kids. Babe, I just want to say thank you. You're always backing me, you always support me, you're always behind whatever challenge and whatever initiative that we do. So thank you so much for all your love and all your support. So just a few people that I just want to have a beautiful shout out to. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for enabling us to reach the goal of supporting the Living School and purchasing all their sporting equipment, which we had done.
Yes.
And absolutely amazing. So from my heart to your heart, to everyone's heart, thank you so much.
Yeah, awesome. I'm just going to run through quickly too some thanks, if that's all right, because I think it's very important. RH Sports, who are actually taking control of the sporting equipment. Stay tuned. There's a lot more to play at and all of that. That's absolutely amazing. We've got Black Fox Real Estate. Can't believe it's jumping behind. Sorting out 2 legs for me was just phenomenal. Oxygenate, brilliant. Thank you very much, Graham. Wide River Big 4. Again, 2 legs, just amazing. And I can't wait to get back there. That's my home, and I just love it. Bayway Building Surveying, thanks Timmy and Rosie. Solar Smart Electrical, Maddie Taylor, thank you very much. Really appreciate you. Kirsten and Rob from Granted, I can't thank them enough, and we'll stay tuned on that one because there's a bit more to play out there. So that's pretty awesome. And of course, Mick Hawes and Julie Cussar, Business Builders Black Belt. But behind the scenes, a big shout out to Janelle. Janelle, I know you wanted to be there. I know you want to be a big part of this. And unfortunately, the C word just took you straight out. But again, you're making sure people knew where I was and, you know, kept us up to date and sharing posts and letting people know what's going on. I can't thank you enough. Cold Water Crazies. No words. Andrea Marshall, you're an amazing human being, driving 3 hours to come down here to support it. Not only copping the brunt of the gazebo, but being there and just in a calm and considered manner just to work through things. Can't thank you enough. That was just amazing. To everybody who came down and supported, to everyone who got around us, I can't thank you enough for that. I love being a part of this community called the Business of Smiles. From my heart to yours, thank you for everything. And look out for what's coming up because it's just going to get better from here. Oh. Anything else you want to share, Shorty?
Thank you for all those beautiful people that turned up. Adam, Braden, Ashley, Riley, Kev, Jeff, Aaron, Lindsay, Kaz, Pete, Will, Byron Bay Runners, James to supply the ice tub. Just everyone who, I'm sure there's a million more. Thank you so much, John, Sophie. Thank you so much, Lauren. Thank you so much for turning up and supporting us. And everyone who donated to the My Cause, everyone who bought socks, just thank you so much. Your support is everlasting and it's truly grateful. Thank you all very, very much.
Good night, everyone. Thanks very much. Now I've got to find that button. It's been an hour and something. I don't know where the hell it's going to be. All right, take care, folks. Thanks for listening.